Combat Arms is a modern, free-to-play, first-person shooter. Is it really free-to-play? Can you in 2024 play Combat Arms free of charge and have fun? Short answer, yes. Long answer, it depends. Hey guys, I'm Whiskers, and today I'll take a look at whether it's possible to play CA for free as it's advertised, what to expect from the game, and how to mitigate the impacts of not actually paying real hard-earned money. So to answer the primal question, it depends. And it will always depend on what you expect from the game and from yourself. If you enjoy the game by playing, let's say, Fireteam, Quarantine, or Competitive, S&D and PCM, then you can enjoy the game just fine, and the playing fields will be relatively fair and your experience will not be impacted. If, however, you intend to play the game in any other mode, such as Elim, Elim Pro, CDF, One-Man Army, or even Arms Race, prepare to have a really hard time. Now, this is due to the fact that Valve has been only going for profit since acquiring the game, and balance is of no concern for them. This may be emotional to some of us who have been playing this game since the beginning. However, consider also the business side of the matter. Valve needs to cash out the game as much as they can in order to bring their money to their shareholders. And last point I'll make on the account of the Korean company Valve is that they are professionals and know what they are doing in terms of business side of things. So how can you enjoy the game? Well, unfortunately, there is no secret. There is no trick to suddenly generate the NX to buy all the stuff, but there is a way to go about it that will help you enjoy the game again. So the first part is scheduling. That means taking advantage of the free items that Valve gives you. So the idea of Valve to have balanced game is to make the game pay to win, but occasionally giving you free samples to play with, hopefully in order for you to then go and buy the item for real money. So at the moment there is 5-shot, there is combat pulley, there's a lot of ways to get free items. What you can do is schedule the usage of them so that you're always covered with some OP gear. So as you can see, some items have expiration dates, some don't. So, for example, getting a high-grade character that will last for 7 days means you can schedule the usage of other items and hold on to them with the activation. So the items have an irregular expiration period, so always check when the items expires and activate only at the latest point to make the use of the item. The same rule applies for events such as 5-shot, combat pulley, and so on. So in the 5-shot you can always look up the event duration and schedule the activation of the items so that they do not overlap. Also make use of any of the coins you get and special items such as weapon and gear renewal kits. So what you essentially want to do is schedule the items so that you always have something of good use, of good value. It's absolutely unnecessary to have, for example, a character and a good vest that cannot be equipped at the same time. If you can schedule the usage, schedule the activation in a way that they do not overlap. So that's the first thing you can do to enjoy the game. Take advantage of the free guns and the free gear that is pretty usual to get. Just schedule in a way. Sometimes you can get gear for perm for 90 days. That's very easy, although most of the time you will get it for 1 day, for 7 days, and that's when your scheduling has to come into play. So if you know you're going to be playing over the weekend, maybe spare the character, the vest or the gun, and activate only on Friday so you can use the gun during, let's say, Saturday if you only have it for 1 day. Also, you can take advantage of the free renewal kits and so on. Okay, so now let's go into the individual and specific items you're going to want to use in order to be competitive in the game. So first I will talk about gear. So a question I got in the previous video a lot was the gun to use to beat pay-to-win players. I understand where this is coming from, but it assumes that your performance depends on guns, and this is essentially wrong. Long gone are the days when a good gun equaled good results. CA today is heavily dependent on the gear you use, so the vests and items nowadays provide around 40% protection. This means that in a gunfight, the player that has more protection usually wins, and the gun you use will come as secondary, but I will talk about the guns a bit later on. So you should aim for characters that provide good combination of speed and protection, and avoid characters that decrease your protection points. Recon Vest will usually mean a 2-shot kill from a rapid-firing SMG, so I would almost consider not using any vest rather than decreasing your protection or armor points. Unfortunately, the characters are almost always exclusively for an axe. There is a job, however, that will grant you a decent character every day, so no surprise there. I suggest finishing this job as soon as you can. One thing I would also suggest if you intend on bettering your chances of survival is using female characters. These make your hitbox smaller, thus making you harder to hit. Just keep in mind that these are banned in the true competitive environment. I discourage you from using female characters. I used one for a month and the results were there, but as always, it's deceiving and you will suffer as a result in a fair situation such as tournaments and so on. A female is definitely a way to momentarily boost your KDR. However, I don't suggest using them long term because it's essentially not fair. As far as guns go, gun is obviously very important, but it's only a part of the equipment that determines whether you win or lose the gunfight. It may be tempting to assume that the pay-to-win players win thanks to their guns, but the truth is there is way more capacity and way more potential in a free gun with you being a good shooter than in the gun itself. Regardless, to beat the pay-to-win players, you will need guns with higher damage, as I believe the way to fight 40% protection is with the highest damage possible. So look at the gun stats and just multiply the damage with fire rate. This will give you a rough estimate of the gun's theoretical potential. Using this formula, best guns to use are AK series guns and G36s. These are usually well balanced, so there is a lot of skill input needed to be good with these guns. At the moment, you can get the Eco AK-47 from the Wheel of Fate, which deals a damage of 52 as standard. That is a great gun to defeat heavy armor. You can put the bullet upgrade on it, which is free and gives you 1 more damage point, which is definitely useful. I would go for that +1 damage. If you find the recoil unbearable, I recently took a look at the AK-12, which is a very niche gun, but it combines the M4 and AK, providing a good recoil control, but also a high damage potential. As far as sniping goes, this will come down to preference. So again, if you can get your hands on a high damage, high accuracy sniper rifle, go for it. If not, then I suggest using the Can-T, which is again is a niche gun, but really precise crosshair. Maybe even the Tango 51 variant, but be prepared for it to be a 2-shot sniper rifle at a distance due to the low damage and the high protection points of other players. An overlooked part of a loadout is the pistol. It is always faster to switch to pistol rather than reload, so I suggest using one that suits your playing style. I usually pull out my gun when I run out of ammo close range, so I need a rapid firing pistol, something a G23 provide me with. A USP and M1911 is good for medium distance. I don't suggest using auto pistols as they are pretty nerfed. Sometimes you need to switch the firing modes at the start of each game, which if you forget to do and then rely on the full auto pistol, you will die instantly in that specific gunfight. So if you look at this clip, I know it's not very representative because I'm using one of the best guns in the game, but of the 6 kills, 3 were done with G23. So definitely an important part of your kit. Give it a good consideration. It's not just a slot that you need to fill. So to give you the summary, focus on characters, that should be the most important part of your gear. Take advantage of the free stuff that Velofet gives. Again, Velofet thinks that balancing the game means providing free samples of the OP stuff and schedule them so that they do not overlap or overlap minimalistically, so you always have a good gun, a good piece of gear. And if you don't have a good gun, you at least have a good piece of gear and vice versa, so you never get caught playing absolutely vanilla, because it's a very, very difficult thing to do. It's almost a challenge to perform good with just free guns from the store. So just take advantage of the events that there are plenty of. So this video is over. I thank you so much for watching if you are still watching, and hope you have a great time. Cheers!